Hello and welcome. It's me, Percita, and this is Percita's Paradox. Thank you so much for joining me today. I greatly appreciate you, your time, and effort in finding me on this thing called YouTube. If you're new to this channel, thank you so much for joining me. And if you are an OG, you know the drill. As always, thank you so much for always continuing to support me and Percita's Paradox. So today, I just wanted to talk about some things in regards to how we can be more efficient and effective when it comes to our goals. And one of those things that I think that we could absolutely touch on today is just this thing called detachment. And I don't mean detachment from people, right? Because I think that's very easy to initially talk about. We typically start our conversations off when we're trying to be better is that, we need to detach ourselves, and we start with people. We don't really stop to think about it actually might be ourselves and our mindsets that needs to adjust more so than the people. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm a huge proponent on your environment and how that plays a role in regards to your successes. But let me be very clear in the idea of detaching yourself from what you believe the outcome should and would look like. So the question today is detachment a part of your success model? And you may say, well, of course, Priscilla, I'm going to always want to only have things in my circle and in my life and in my purpose and my plans that are going to benefit me. I believe that. I don't believe anyone wakes up with this idea that you can't let something go until it comes to this idea of letting go the outcome. Because typically when you're thinking about something, when you're wanting something, you're praying for something, you're doing anything towards the gainment of something, you have the idea and the envisionment of what the outcome should and would look like. Sometimes I think we get really caught up on that so much so that we don't understand that the detachment is key to your success, meaning you have to be so overly flexible in regards to how things will come out looking and being in the end, that if you're not, you might, and quite possibly miss out on this opportunity to really be as successful as you want. I know many a times I've, literally said that I wanted something and I needed it to basically be what I needed. Even in my prayers, I've actually remembered specifically saying, this is what it is that I need. And I know if I get this, this is going to make or break my situation, but I know it'll really make it because this is what I know that I need. I get it. And it turns out not only is it not what I need, but it's not even remotely coming close to the solution that I thought it was. And I had a hard time detaching my mind from that because I really wanted to believe that that was what I needed. And in that regard, it literally hung me up for a good couple of months because I had not thought about this idea that I may not know what I'm talking about, right? Because I had done the research. I had literally spoken to everyone possible, I thought, to be able to give me, whatever it was that I was looking for, not understanding that I wasn't really looking for both ends of the spectrum. I was literally trying to prove to myself that what I was looking for was right. That can always be something that we use to determine if we're flexible or not, right? Just that idea that I was not really looking for other options or the yin to the yang definitely started to make me understand that I was having a detachment issue. But going further, I started to understand that there's really only two outcomes to understanding detachment. And that first outcome is just the idea that it wasn't for me. And when I want to say it wasn't for me, it's so hard to really grasp it because, like I said, we have these perceptions of we really know what we need and what we want. And we really get headstrong and won't flex in our mindset about it because we really feel like this is it, right? And this is what you want to happen. How many times can you really say that the things that you wanted or the things that you desired really played out exactly the way that you saw that they were going to? I'll wait. I know for me, it's never been the way that I envisioned, right? It's always had its own little je ne sais quoi to it, its own little sauce, its own little flavor, even though I definitely did not want it to be that way. And it wasn't as if the way that it was a bad way. It's just I didn't see it that way. So I had to really understand that when things really don't work out for me, the idea of me being okay with that, learning to detach from it, was really a very big proponent in how my mindset shifted quickly and efficiently back to a successful plan on what it was that I was trying to do. Because instead of me sitting there trying to rack my brain over and over again on why it didn't work and what did I fail myself in, and what didn't I do, what T did I not cross, what I did I not dot, I just owned the fact that it wasn't for me. And although difficult, it has grown to be simpler because I'm learning that the detachment of success being only one specific way or only coming the way that I envision it to come has really been just a game changer across the board. So I want to express that today to say that if that's you, right? If you are really, really, really not understanding that the first main reason that you want to make sure that you can detach is because it possibly wasn't for you, whatever it was, right? Person, place, or thing. But we're specifically talking about, something other than people. We're talking about our goals and plans, right? So if we really understand that it wasn't for you, then the only other thing that it could ever possibly be is that you literally didn't do the work. And that's going to be a hard pill to swallow because so often we really want to tell ourselves that we've done the work. And then you get the result and you come back and say to yourself, like, well, I don't understand. It should have been better, or I should have been able to do this, or da 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 da, or, so-and-so told me that they were going to be able to do this for me, or whatever it was, right? Whatever it is. The truth of the matter is that you can really, really see, and you really know in your heart of hearts when you just didn't do what was necessary to achieve the goal. Now, I will say that we have grown into a world that we like to say that if we participated, right? If we did more than we usually do, if we step up, just a little bit, right? That we all want some sense of accolade as if you've done the work. But facts, if you have not done the whole thing, the 100%, not the 70, not the 60, not the 80%, but the entire work necessary for the goal that you're trying to achieve, then I want you to promise yourself today that you understand that that detachment is even more key, because you have to detach from this idea that you can just half-ass it and you're going to get 100%, because either you feel like you deserve it or you feel like the work you did was enough, even though it isn't, but you feel like it should at least be there. The universe should come and fill in the void for you because you're a good person or you've been good to others. Just stop. I'm going to tell you from a real place, like, that is just not what you want to do. You have to do the work. You have to get out of this idea of thinking that work can be substituted with wishing, because there's no way to really put that in place to make that make sense. It cannot hold the same pressure that work does. Work is strong and work stands alone because there's just no way around it. Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, there's been plenty of people who can come back to me and say, well, girl, I've done the work. And yet I still am not in a place where I feel like I have gained what my work has actually given, right? Can't talk to you about it because I don't really know the whole circumstance. And if you've done the work, then you have, to me, be patient enough to understand now you have to allow the manifestation of it. It equates to gardening. If you've gone out, you've tilled the land, you've actually prepared the land to make sure that you're dropping the seeds, you've dropped the seeds, you continue to water them, you can't rush the process. So at that point, you would know that it's not detachment, it's you simply rushing the process because you feel like you're ready. I would hope and pray, I should say, and not you, I would hope and pray that you understand that you don't want to rush any parts of your process, not one bit. You definitely want to be prepared, and you definitely want to be able to handle whatever comes your way. So to rush it, trying to get through whatever you feel like the work should be, because now you feel like it should yield a result, is not what I would propose at all. But I would say go back and make sure that you've done the work, right? Because that's what we're stressing, so that you can understand the detachment. And the detachment that we're still talking about, even after doing the work, if I just actually can add this, everyone wants to speed everything up. Everyone wants to be in a place where we feel as if whatever we're working for yields and yields quickly. That's just a natural, normal thing. Even people who are extremely patient, and I know some people who are patient grow weary, right? In good doing, meaning they're still tired because they really want to get to the place of whatever it is. But my point today is that even in that, detach yourself from this idea that it should happen and happen quickly. because I'm a big proponent in understanding that things that happen quickly don't necessarily have longevity. And if you're anything like me, I don't want to work for anything and do any sense of 100% work and only be able to receive or impress myself of enjoying said blessing for a short period of time, right? Everything that I do, I'd like to enjoy it for as long of a period as possible. So I would say the same for you. It's like you definitely want to understand that you want to detach yourself from what you believe things should look like, because you have to believe in the process of greatness and greaterness and a higher power that's actually going to come and solidify whatever it is that you want and give you the sustainability to keep it, right? So instead of worrying about how long it is, I want you to focus more on how great it's going to be when it manifests and how fantastic it's going to be, can't talk today, for the longevity of it. So let's just really focus today on how we can do better with our detachment skill set, because we really, really, really have a hard time, I think, as a whole. I hear it all day. Even when we're talking about the fitness challenge, you hear people who are like, hey, I've already done the work. It's been 2 weeks. It's been 3 weeks. Well, what if I'm not really seeing what everyone else is seeing? You're not everyone else. Don't compare yourself to anything and anyone. Allow your process. Love and be grateful in everything that you're in as you're in it, so that you can actually then see and appreciate the steps. Once you understand that, it just becomes easier for the detachment, and it also comes easier for you to detach from the idea of the outcome. So when I say detach from the detachment, what I'm meaning is the outcome of what you feel like it should be. Make sure that you understand that when it doesn't work out, it wasn't for you. Believe that. Understand that if it's for you, no one can take anything that is yours. It's impossible because it's yours. So understand that if something you thought was supposed to be yours, it wasn't. And detach yourself from that idea instead of wallowing in you losing something, and believe for greater and bigger and better. And number 2, when you understand that you have to do the work, don't sacrifice the work. Don't sacrifice anything in regards to the work, because work is key in order for you to achieve what it is that you need to achieve. And you have to do it 100% plus. Not the 70, not the 80, not doing better than you did yesterday, not giving yourself kudos for just participating, but finishing. Everyone can have a vision. Everyone can start. Everyone can. Did you catch that? Start today. You hear that all the time. Begin today, do today, but not everybody can finish. And that's just not something that we talk about. But detach yourself from the idea of you want to finish. You want to start and you want to finish. And in that process, if you really focus on it, how you finish, how long it takes for you to finish, and anything else that you find yourself really transfixed on in regards to the negative does not play a part. Just finish. So as always, I greatly appreciate you. Thank you so much for joining me this far and coming to the end of this video. Please, 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 please be so kind as to like, share, and comment on said video, meaning this one. Make sure you've subscribed and make sure you hit the notification button so that you know when I am uploading. Now, before you can do all of those things, you know what I'm going to ask you to do? I'm going to ask you to do 3 things. And those 3 things are live life authentic. Thank you so much as always. Please make sure that you follow me on TikTok and Instagram. I'm going to leave my handle here. And as always, know that I wish you nothing but blessings and a wonderful day. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.